Perspective. Well, hello and good afternoon. I'm sitting here talking to all of you guys, and well, you guys weren't nowhere to be found. I was literally in a conversation and then brought our guest on in and everything, and no one was here. And I think it's because we had a little bit of a technical difficulty here with the channel. But welcome to Headlines of the Voice, and welcome to the Lockhart Perspective. I so appreciate each and every one of you joining us today. We have a wonderful guest that's here, and I hope that he will feel at home to where he can come back all the time, anytime he wants to. But for today, we have a wonderful treat, and you guys know I don't think he needs much of an introduction. It's none other than Dr. B. I'm going to bring him on in, but we, all of us here, have been chatting over the past few days getting prepared for this show, and I've been saying, hey, you know what? Parasites are parasites, right? It could be like me. I've been waiting for that last child who's like what I consider a middle-aged person to be gone, or it could be anything in your life. And he's going to come in and talk with us today about just that. Parasites that come in so many different forms. Welcome, welcome to our show. How you doing?
I'm doing fabulously, wonderfully, phenomenally well.
I like that. Y'all like that? Fabulously, phenomenally, all of that stuff. Let's say hello to a few people. I do see Maureen Olson. I also see Wanda Diaz, Amy Duran. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to all of those who are watching without being in the chat. We appreciate each and every one of you. So have you seen some of the stuff that's been going on lately?
Have I seen it?
I know you probably haven't. But first of all, I want to tell you that I am on day 7. And I feel good.
Day 7 of
my paracleanse.
Oh.
Yes, I'm like on the perpetual day 6 of the drop 6. So I'm not sure if anybody else is doing it right along with me, but I noticed a lot of good stuff. I noticed a lot of the volume. I'm seeing less volume of me, less volume of me, and just feeling overall better. So I want to just tell you, kudos. That's some good stuff you got there and stuff.
Well, I can see that your skin is really glowing. You have this, huge auric field, and yes, you're looking like a whole new person just in 7 days. So congratulations.
I'm feeling like a whole new person. I can't wait to see what your girl looked like at day 28. I just can't wait to see. But nonetheless, I'm excited about it, and I just want to thank you. Hey, up your 73. It's so good to see you. Yeah, you know what? There are a couple of things that's going on right now, and I do want to talk about it. One of the things that we chatted about this morning, because I've been on, and that's another thing I'll say, is I've been having an unbelievable amount of energy where I'm just go, 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 go. Creepy, I know it is, but it is. So I've been up since early this morning. I've been recording since, 6 something my time here? So I don't know, but I've been on the air since 6 something this morning. Either way it goes, we had a lot of conversations that we were talking about. And one of the things that I want to bring up is this. Let me pull up my history because I want you to give me your comments on this. I want to talk about the robot. And her name is, hold on, I'm hearing some feedback. Hold on. Hey guys, I hear feedback. I need that to be canceled. Other people have headphones in their ear and they're listening to stuff too. That ain't gonna work. So anyway, I have the story about Sophia, and I do want to talk about her because one of the things that I said just recently was, that's the other race. I said that is definitely the other race when you consider race, because there's only one human race, but that to me is the other race. And I think that a lot of times that people feel as if, they go to the grocery store or they're shopping or whatever, that they have to give information. Well, they have no idea what all that information is being gathered for. Then you all of a sudden you see things like the AI and all that other stuff. Just all of a sudden they have human traits. And so I wanted to talk about that. I want to talk about that. And I also want to get your take on, what do you do when you have kids that just won't leave the house? That's the main thing, because that's really what's close to my heart right now. How do I get adults to leave? And then I want to talk about Miss Sophia. I'm going to pull Miss Sophia up. How you get people to leave?
You're asking me this?
I'm asking you this.
Well, my ministry is all about natural health and parasites. It is natural for the children to stay as long as you allow them to stay.
Oh, here we go.
So they're not staying just because they're staying. They're either staying because they have to, or because you're allowing them to. And it's a good place. It's warm. You know what I'm saying? They get food. They get you. So they're not quite parasitic, but you are a very good host, I guess. And why would they leave? You see, it sounds like you need to have a personal conversation since you're cleansing of your parasites. You figure out what part of your relationship
this ain't about
between
me.
you and them. It ends up being about us. It's all about us.
It's all about us, right?
It's all about us. And like I said, my specialty is parasites. Mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. And I'm not sure you could term your children parasites unless they get to a certain point.
Yeah.
Where they're not doing anything. The trash isn't even out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't do anything. They're just laying around. Now they've become a bit parasitic. But we do have a society which feeds off of us. We've created a thing where we feed off of each other. Now, if it's reciprocal, then it's not parasitic.
Okay.
But if one person is the host,
okay,
and the other one is just there to be at the party, making sure you got nuts and crackers, and it's warm, making sure that they want your internet password real fast. What's your internet password? And they're not taking care of anything. But then you have to have a different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And that is something that a lot of us are challenged to do because we feel like we're parents and we have to do this. Well, you have to lay down the law. So a lot of times when we're looking at our children, we're looking at ourselves. So you got to look at you. What are you allowing? What are you letting happen in your life? And where else in your life is this showing up? Yeah. Because we live a life and we are choosing it. Even if like you mentioned,
Jeremiah, I hear that.
all the things that's going on in the news. I'm not sure what's going on in the news, and I'll be honest with you. Most of the things that are going on have been going on. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
You hear all of a sudden. Well, it's not all of a sudden. It's all of a sudden it's being broadcast to you by people that want to do what? Sell you the shock and awe, and sell you a product. You see? So who's watching who? Is the TV and the internet you watching it, or is it watching you? You see, so once you turn a lot of this off, then your energy can be used for yourself. Because these things are, like they say in the news, if it bleeds, it leads. The story that's got the most, you know what I'm saying? And it moves your emotions the most is the one that goes to the top of the news because we're nosy. We're newsy. We're not nosy. We're just nosy and newsy.
Oh, I want to know about the newsy. I want to know
newsy
about
is
all these rich people's business so that I can stay in it. That's what I do. I stay in their business.
Well, that means you too, because you're a rich person too. So we got to stay in your business.
In my business.
Let me tell you one skill that I noticed. With a lot of rich people is they mind their business. They don't care what you think or what you do. They're doing what they do.
I don't care what anybody thinks.
And they're doing it passionately.
Yeah,
and it's not about what everybody thinks. And this thing about who's rich and who's poor, just keep in mind that no matter how poor you are, there's people below you. No matter how high you are, there's people above you. This is a plethora of things that's happening, and a lot of it is what we're choosing. What do you choose to focus on? Now, this is where you could become a parasite within your own self. Because there's a thing called mental parasites. Well, Dr. B, what's a mental parasite? Mental parasites are ideas, emotions, and experiences and beliefs in you that you harbor in your mind, either consciously or subconsciously, right? That are eating you alive. What is eating you alive inside out? It's yourself. If you woke up this morning and whoops, you fell out the bed, hit your head on the coffee table, and forgot everything. You couldn't remember the show today. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know who Lockhart is, and you know what I'm saying? You don't know anything. You wouldn't have any problems. I think that's why some people end up with, some of these things like dementia. Well, Grandpa was just walking through the neighborhood with his underwear on. He had no problems. He was natural. He was smiling. And that's a real problem. Smiling, walking through the neighborhood with your underwear on, or nothing. But in some societies, that would be natural and normal. You see? So we have to be careful of our own, because see, certain parasites need you to know they're there.
I was going to ask you about that. I wanted to talk about a couple of different ones because I have been reading over the past week. So I'm glad you brought that up. But go ahead because there's a couple I want to ask you about.
You see, it's just like, somebody always, I have a lot of times people ask me about, oh boy, there's these, what do you think about the reptilians and the this and that? I said, well, if you didn't know about them, well, how would they affect you? And what could you do? What could you do if there are these quote unquote reptilians that are controlling the world? We keep hearing about these folks that's controlling the world. My big question is are you controlling your world? Who controls your world? What should you focus on? There's so many things, and you got so many choices today. You can become, lost and mixed up in the wind, and you're not following your own current, so you can't see. So you're caught up into somebody else's currency, but you can't see what's current for you. We have to be in what I call emergency mode right now. That means to emerge and see. And once you change your attitude, that will change your altitude, which changes your aptitude, which is your point of view. So now you're looking down at things at a bird's eye view, and all this becomes funny. It sounds like, oh my God, there's so many things going on today. Ever since I've been on the planet, there's been a lot going on. There's no more things going on. Yeah. There may be more ways that you could get lost and drift off your path. Once you choose your path, once you have your what and your why, then there are a whole lot of things you don't need to know what's going on, what they said today. So they got a robot named Sophia.
No, we're gonna talk about her.
Well, my point is, let's say they do. I was at the grocery store one night. They had a robot cleaning the floor. This machine was going around. You know what I'm saying? It was cleaning the floor. But maybe nobody wanted to clean the floor, so they got the robot to do it. How does that affect me? You see, they keep saying, well, AI is taking over. Artificial intelligence has been around a long time, even before the computer. Go back to the 1900s. I was watching this show, The Food That Built America. And they talk about how in the 1900s, these, people wanted to change the food industry because food was terrible. It was gross, nasty. They didn't have refrigeration. So these people started coming and learning how to process and preserve food, right? And they would say how good something is, and they would just make it up. You didn't even know what was in half the bottles. They were brown and closed up, and they put sauce on it. That's how Heinz got big, because he created ketchup, which was to cover up, right, the stuff that was caught up in your food, like bugs, parasites, all this rot. So he created this stuff that you could put over your food to cover it up. All these sauces and glazes and things, and even gravy, right, was to cover up what could have you end up in an early grave. Gravy. You see, because the food was rotten.
Okay.
It's bad. So my point here is that they created advertising campaigns.
Okay.
Based on artificial intelligence. It wasn't real. It wasn't the truth. See, we think artificial intelligence is taking over. This is how they've been running things. This is how they got people to leave the farm in the 1900s, in the late 1800s. How did they get people to leave the farm? Oh, you're working hard from dusk till dawn. You're out there with all those crops. You were wealthy. You had food. But they convinced people to come to the city so they could work in a factory and make, steady money at a just over broke called a job. You see, if you were to see how the people were living in the city, and these people are doing these jobs, and for some reason, most of the people working are what they call orphans. There was millions and millions of orphans in the early, 1900s. That's a whole nother story where these orphans came from. There was more orphans than adults. That's weird. What they got people to believe, that things were better than they were. This is when advertising came along. So there's two types of advertising, where one is giving you honest, right, an honest idea about something that could help them. And the other type of advertising is telling people about something that's definitely not true and finding all the loopholes. That's artificial intelligence. It's not new. You figure, well, that's just the computers. They're taking over. No, there's a few wealthy people who know advertising, who are into marketing, who were always in charge if you were living in the mainstream. But back on the farm, that made no difference for you because you got up and you did what you did. You controlled your life. So it was, my grandparents, I remember they were talking about how they came from the South up to the North, to what do they call it? The New England area. And the story was they were told that they were going to go work for the tobacco farms. And tobacco farming was great work. You'd make great money. And they had these, what they call housing projects, which was like corporate housing. You hear about corporate housing, Google has corporate housing. Well, they had corporate housing for a lot of these companies in the New England area, which was basically the projects. It was the worst. You lived on the 25th floor. You walked up 25 flights of stairs. The elevators didn't work half the time. You had to worry about your wallet, your pocketbook. No matter what happened, right? You had to run. You worked harder than you did where you came from. But there was a promise of tomorrow. There's always this promise of tomorrow. Well, one day you'll be able to possibly buy a bicycle. One day you'll be able to buy a home. One day you'll be able to get an automobile. One day, work hard. Mm-hmm. Just work hard. Now, the people that were running it were not working hard. Mm-hmm. They had the mindset to give up information to manipulate you and fool you into doing some of this. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you something that's really deep.
What?
One of the ways they convince people to get away from their natural ways. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Sugar. Hershey's, sugar. Heinz, sugar. Mars, sugar. Kellogg's, sugar. Almost all these companies started using processed sugar. Wow. No one used it before. What do you mean, Doc? Well, no, people use natural sweeteners, natural fruit juice, dehydrated fruit is, made fructose,
Yeah.
They had natural sweetness and they had a lot of love in their life and they were connected to the earth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They weren't corralled into some type of belief system that really didn't feed them anything. It just gave them promises about tomorrow, what's going to happen when you die, by and by. So sugar, processed white sugar, is a very small molecule. It's very closely related to cocaine. Coca-Cola, the guy who created Coca-Cola, he was trying to cure his heroin habit. So he took cola nuts from Africa, which have a lot of caffeine and energize you, and coca leaves, mixed them all up. It was like, whoa, he's a little high because, heroin made him low. So now he's a little high. You see, he's up working all night, didn't even fall out, So now we had this product, Coca-Cola, that people were hooked on. But it still wasn't marketed big. It was just in the Atlanta area until this other guy basically swindled the company. And the one thing about, I need to make this one point. All of these people in the early 1900s who were creating the food industry were swindling each other. It was all manipulation. It was artificial intelligence. I'm going to break it down for you now. It's just you want to go ahead about the news. This is the news. Yeah. This is the good news.
Okay.
The sugar was in everything to make it taste good. Sugar, salt, grease. Then they started using preservatives so stuff wouldn't go bad. What happens is your brain uses more sugar than any other organ. At least 50% of your sugar intake goes directly to the brain instantly. Wow. The brain needs glucose. It's working 24/7. It can't even sleep at night because you need dreams. You see? So it's working. It's keeping your organs and your heart beating. Everything is all controlled by these hormones coming from your heart, your gut, and your brain. See? So all these foods now have sugar in them.
Okay.
People feel a little better, but they start feeling weird, like they need more sugar. Do you know why?
Why?
Because sugar affected the hypothalamus.
Okay.
The hypothalamus didn't work right. Well, what's the hypothalamus do? It controls the urge known as satisfaction.
Okay.
It's a hormone called leptin that your body makes, right? That tells your hypothalamus you've eaten enough. You've had enough sugar. Push away from the table. It also helps you on a spiritual level to know when you've had enough. Check this out. When you've had enough, you feel satisfied. You feel satiated. Oh, I'm okay. I'm calm. No, thank you. I don't need any more. One piece of that pecan pie was just enough. My teeth are going to rest, and we're going to build the enamel on my teeth in the next month, and we won't have any more pecan
rebuild.
But you know that pecan pie, that stuff digests teeth. Sugar itself, if you put a half, we did this in school. We took a half a cup of sugar and put it in water. And they told us to bring a tooth to school. If your teeth come out, this was and you put the tooth in the water, and a month later it was gone.
Wow.
Nope, the tooth fairy didn't come and sneak into school and steal the beaker. You know what I'm saying? No, the tooth fairy is not what you think it is. The tooth fairy is sugar, and it costs money. She wants money. She wants you to buy more sugar.
Oh, yeah.
She don't leave you no money. She leaves you with you need more. So check this out. The hypothalamus, when it has too much sugar in it, it shuts down. It doesn't tell you you've had enough. It tells you you need more. We haven't even had any sugar. That, just you drank that Coke, and that 20-ounce Coke had 14 teaspoons of sugar in it.
Wow.
14 teaspoons, okay? 1 teaspoon of sugar is 2 feet of sugar cane.
Wow.
The actual sugar cane. 2 feet.
Wow.
I guarantee if you go out and get you some sugar cane, and you couldn't eat 2 feet of sugar cane. You couldn't eat it. You'd fall out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You couldn't do it. It's too much. But guess what? You just had a 20 ounce, right? You need another 20 ounces and another 20 ounces. Now you're going over to, what's this place? Casco's or someplace where, you buy stuff by the case, and they even bring the forklift to your house, to your station wagon or your truck or whatever, put it in the back, and you still haven't had enough because you don't know when to stop. I'm going to break this down to you. Artificial intelligence is what we're talking about.
Okay.
What's the lady's name?
Come on.
We talking about, what's her name?
Sophia. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the floor. Go ahead.
I can deal with Sophia because I can see her. This here I couldn't see coming. I need more sugar. It affects my heart. So I don't feel good. I don't feel enough love. No matter how much love they give you, it's not enough. Do you know how many people are upset today because they didn't get enough candy yesterday on Valentine's Day? You understand what I'm saying? They didn't get enough. They didn't get the right sugar. He was supposed to get me loves. If you really love me, I need loves. I don't eat Edermans. There's an argument that can happen over the sugar. How much sugar? The glaze on the chicken wasn't glazy enough. You know what I'm saying? People they never got enough because the satiated hormone, right, which is, leptin, which is going to tell your hypothalamus that you've had enough, doesn't affect you because the hypothalamus is not working. It's a very important piece here. Guess what else is affected by white processed sugar? Your pineal gland. What does the pineal gland? For many years, I said it didn't do anything.
Wow.
The pineal gland is your antenna to your environment and the cosmos and what some would call God or spirituality. People had that. People had that. And it's not it used to be the first eye because you could feel it happening. You had intuition. After the 1900s, all of a sudden it's the third eye because the sugar shuts it down. So now you can get people to leave the farm or leave their family and march off the war, right? That you don't even know what the war is about. It's just a patriotic thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You see everybody's coming back with half a leg. You know what I'm saying? You still,
but it's patriotic.
It's patriotic.
Hobbling around.
You're sugared down because you know what I'm saying? There's sugar.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Sugar, right? Sugar, right, has got you What? Disconnected from yourself, your intentions, who you are, disconnected from your goal, disconnected from anything that connects you to anything real. Artificial intelligence. They pump sugar into every food to make it taste good. So now your pineal, right? You can't get a message from the creator, so you don't know when to pray. Yeah. So now you got to go and pray the way they told you to pray. You see what I'm saying? You don't know which one to choose. You know, you just whoever the best music at the church is, or whoever the best preacher is, or whoever looks more like you and your family. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what? How do you choose which belief and which religion? It's based on your parents who are sugared down, right? The sugar, right? The sugar coating. What does it do? It helps the medicine go down. But for a lot of us, it helped the poison go down.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember sugar. We used to use it. Well, when we were little kids, they used to put turpentine and sugar together to make us a little better. That's what the grandmama used to
remove the paint. That's what
turpentine and sugar. And I mean, we wouldn't just get in line to take turpentine. We got in line because, and they did this almost every 3 or 4 months. They would get us in a line, all the kids, and it'd be me, my cousins, my siblings, and the turpentine will go down much easier because they put it on that little piece of sugar in there. And I now know what they were trying to do in their own way, but I think that sort of laid the groundwork for some of the things that we have going on with us today, even though they were trying. Because I tell you, some of the things that I've experienced over the past week, that didn't just come from nowhere. Those things look prehistoric. Some of the stuff been going on lately looks sort of prehistoric. So maybe they were trying to help. I don't know. But the sugar did make it go down a little bit better, to your point.
So they realized that they could sugarcoat physically with this material that was basically an industrial product. It wasn't like the natural sugar cane.
Right.
It wasn't like maple syrup. It wasn't like honey. You see?
Yeah.
And then they told you, well, the brown sugar is better for you. Who told you brown sugar was better? Yeah, and they got the real sugar, the original sugar. Unless it's the cane coming directly from the cane, it's going to sweeten things, and you lose after a while the sense of disgust. I need to hear you. Please look up. You Google the forgotten sense of disgust.
The forgotten sense of disgust.
There's a whole thing in psychiatry about this, where people have forgotten how to be disgusted, how to feel disgusting. You could look at something and be like, oh my God, you would never eat that. Like back in the day, you would have never ate a piece of meat that was on some styrofoam that was red. How come it's red, first of all? What did they paint it with? It's wrapped up with some saran wrap, and it's put over there with a price on it. You wouldn't have eaten that back in the day. You needed to see it, smell it, and touch it. The mother would never have given her child some peas and carrots that's ground up, right?
That's right.
You never would have done that. It's just disgusting. The little baby on the bottle that didn't look too healthy. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You would have never sprayed things like some of these products on your windows and around your house to clean your house because, it was poison. It was disgusting to do that. But when you have too much sugar, you will do almost anything that the sugar makers want you to do. Artificial intelligence, artificial sweetener. It becomes artificial love. You feel good about it. Why? Because you don't know what's disgusting and what's right for you anymore. Because the glands in your head have been shut down. Your brain is not working correctly. Now, let's get to the next piece. You ready for this?
I am.
One of the things that lets you know that you have parasites is you crave sugar.
Wow.
Even like processed wheat, gluten, you crave it. That lets you know, man, I got parasites. Something's eating me from the inside out. Well, what happens here is what they call a feedback loop. You now, since you're used to eating sugar, right? Because everything had sugar like crazy. The parasites, especially this one called Toxoplasma, it loves for you to have sugar too, because it is the mind control parasite, Toxoplasma. It will cause you to forget who you are. It's one of the things that causes person to forget that something is disgusting.
That's what I've got on the screen there. I'm going to set it to the side until you're ready, and I'm going to read a little paragraph. You guys would be amazed. Okay, go.
So when you have this parasite, right, you, which is 70 to 75% or more of the people now have this parasite, which causes you, one, to crave sugar. Why does it want you to have sugar? Because sugar has 250 disagreeable, negative, life-threatening effects on your body. What? Processed sugar.
Say that again. How many?
Sugar
has 250.
More than 250 life-threatening, disease-causing, imbalancing effects on your body. Well, first, I just said it causes your brain not to work correctly. Your glands don't work. Your hormones. Otherwise, everybody hormones off. People before the 1900s didn't have no hormone problems. Well, you got a hormone problem. Part of it's got to do with sugar. There's other things too, you know, the growth hormones, the recombinant bovine growth hormone they're giving the cows. They got another hormone they're giving the chickens and the pigs and all of these animals, and they're giving them these you know, antibiotics so they don't get sick, because otherwise they are sick, but you can't tell they're sick because the antibiotic is covering up the sickness that they have, and they're feeding them soybeans and they're feeding them things they normally don't eat. Then you eat that because that's the standard way we eat in America, which is sad. The standard American diet is sad.
SAD. Wow.
Now, why can't I turn off the news? Why am I worried about Sophia, the robot? Because my brain is full of sugar and I can't think correctly about why I'm here and what I'm supposed to do. Toxoplasma, the parasite, which lives in the amygdala, it causes you to have perception issues, especially around fear. You're afraid of things that can't hurt you. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
You're focused every day, day in and day out, on things that basically is none of your business. They didn't come to your door. What they're doing in Washington, D.C. Have you been to Washington, D.C.?
Don't want to go.
I went to Washington, D.C. and nobody was there. I went to Washington, D.C. and it was really crazy. I was there for an event.
Well, that must have been recently, within the last 2 years?
What do you mean?
Within the last year or just in general?
This was probably maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
Nobody was there when I went there. Well, who's running the government? Well, the government's off. Well, where are they? I don't even see. I saw a lot of people who work for the government, but where are these little beings that you say are running everything?
Yeah, where are they?
This thing is running on automatic. They're frightened too. They got sugar. They got more sugar in their coffee than they do coffee. Then they got a creamer that's half and half. The guy told me the other day, he said, "Well, Doctah B, I'm doing good. I only put half and half in my coffee." I said, "Half what and half what?" He said, "Well, you know, it's a creamer. You know, it's half and half. You know what half and half is?" I said, "I'm not sure. What do you know what half and half is?" "Well, you know, it's half and half." He just kept saying, "It's half and half," looking at me like I was crazy. Half what and half what? He couldn't explain it. So I told him, I said, "Take that same coffee, put it in the blender, and put a tablespoon of coconut oil on it and blend it up. It'll cream up immediately, and it'll be healthier. Because your body craves the oil, coconut oil, and oils like that." So let me go back to toxoplasma.
Okay.
Toxoplasma causes you to have a misperception of fear.
Okay.
It causes you to be angry and upset about things that have nothing to do with you. The news keeps giving you this stuff that they say is going on, right? Like remember in LA, they had the eyewitness news.
Yeah.
Well, when the thing happened, they weren't there. They come and jump out the truck asking people questions. Why you got to interview people if you were the eyewitness news? Didn't you see it? Why it's artificial intelligence, and you believe it because your brain is sugared down. Toxoplasma, right? It says that you got to be afraid of everything. You got to watch the news. You know, the president or whatever you call him was on the news he was on the other day doing something. I walked by the television and I was like, what's he talking about? "Oh, see, there's such and you for paper and for and over Afghanistan. And I looked at the people. People all at the bank. You're at the bank, and everybody's staring at the screen. I asked the lady, "What's he talking about?" "Oh, he's talking about the state of the world." I said, "What did he say about the state?" Ooh. "Oh my God, it's so much going on." She couldn't even tell me. What is going on? "Oh God, I wish the other guy was back." "Well, what did the other guy say?" "You don't know what he said." When do you know what they're saying? Doesn't make no difference what they're saying. It's what are you saying? But if you got sugar in this toxoplasma, you're never happy. It's never enough. You can't have the great orgasm because it wasn't good enough. Oh God, you feel good for like 10 minutes. Then you go get up out the bed and turn on the news. Honey, come look. Honey, sleep. You know, he's supposed to be asleep. You may not be asleep because you know what I'm
got toxoplasma.
The sugar couldn't help you. You couldn't have a complete orgasm. You couldn't you're supposed to be knocked out. The earth's supposed to move under your feet. But you know, all of you just had like a little tremor. Remember out in California, a little tremor. And then, it's back to normal, back to the news, back to you, Jim, back to you, back to you, Jane, back to you, John, back to you. That's the news. They'll call it the back to you because they got their back to you, and you got to back to yourself, and you got to back it up with more sugar.
Mercy. Oh, mercy. Okay.
I don't know why you're laughing. This is not a joke. I'm serious. Doctah B Sirius. So check it out. So with toxoplasma, the cows, chickens, and pigs in the feedlots are eating it.
Okay.
Because it's all over the floor.
Okay.
It's everywhere. Guess what it does to the animals?
What?
It domesticates them.
Wow.
They don't run away. They look out the farm like, oh my God, where am I going? One cow's trying to get away. Jim, come back, cowy cow. Come back. What are you going to do out there? It's bad. Right? The black sheep is trying to jump over the fence and, no, bad! It's bad! Come back, little blackie! Why? Because they're afraid. So when you're domesticated, right? When you're domesticated, you're not going to run away. What will keep you domesticated? One thing that domesticates the animals, I need you to hear this is deep, is toxoplasma. The farmer breaks it down that toxoplasma is good because the animals don't attack. You can stick your hand in the cage and they won't bite you. The chickens just stand there looking around. You ever see the chickens? The dumbest animal in the world. You walk over to a chicken like you're going to slap it and don't even blink. Right? My grandmother used to go out in the garden on the farm and grab the chicken by its neck. He's looking at her like, what the hell's going on? What are you doing, Grandma? Why are you doing that, Grandma? And she's swinging around till his head pops off. The head's still on the ground. Where am I now? Where's my legs? I can't feel myself. You can't hurt me anymore. Then everybody would sit around and eat, right? Everybody would sit around and eat, and the conversation would be intelligent at first, right? Yeah, how you doing? How was work today? How's your business? And by the end of the conversation, all you hear is, they got chicken ears disease. Everybody's got a chicken head. You see what I'm saying? So now you're worried because you're not yourself anymore. Okay. It's not yours. It's not your ideas. You're being implanted with artificial intelligence about what's going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see.
Oh my God. They don't even have to put anything in the chemtrails anymore. They just got to put some steam on the back of the plane. And everybody's looking at the sky. Oh my God. I saw 14 said they did tic-tac-toe all over my yolk. Look, they don't even have to do anything because you're so afraid that all these chemicals come rushing from your body when you're in fear. Your immune system shuts down when you're in fear. Your immune system shuts down when you're in anger. And if you're in chronic anger, chronic fear, chronic, lack, limitation, nothing is never enough, you're done. They got you. You're in a corral. Yeah. You see? You are the sheeple. Bad. And about the three little pigs, and this is a big thing. One made a house out of straw. One made a house, come on now. Where you get these stories? One made a house out of brick. And the wolves came and tried to blow the house down. I mean, this is the stuff that your mind gets tricked into going along with this and feeding it to your children. And then you're going to lie about Santa Claus and wonder why the children lie. The news is on in the background and you're lying about Santa Claus and the tooth fairy's coming to get something. Meanwhile, the child's eating so much sugar, the sugar frosted flakes. Wow. Think about that. How did you frost? How did you get sugar to stick to the flake?
Wow.
And they show you Tony the Tiger. You know what I'm saying? Tigers don't eat this. It's the breakfast of champions. And you know, Kellogg was started by a guy who was basically, he ran the insane asylum. You know, so who runs the insane asylum? Who runs the insane asylum? The chronically insane. Watch the show, The Food That Built America. All these guys, it's all men, are insane. They're crazy. It's about the money, and they're fighting each other. That goes into your food. So now you're a fighter. You don't have enough love. You see what I'm saying? Look, Kellogg's thing was you can't have sex. No one should ever have sex. Eat this dry, crunchy cereal. You should see the people breaking this with hammers. They're all sitting there dry. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's had anything exciting. There's nothing. They just exercise. They get up in the morning. They eat the dry cereal. Watch the show. They just exercise.
I'm gonna have to. I turned it on the other day. I turned it on,
and the parasites turned it off.
I got to.
She turned it on.
I turned
and
it
parasites.
on. I turned it on. I started to watch some of it, and then I had to go to sleep. But I do want to ask you a question.
That's what happens. Because there you go. I had to go to sleep.
I had to go to bed.
Why you had to go to sleep?
Well, because I took my tranquility, and I had to go to sleep. I didn't have a choice. I needed to go to sleep.
All right.
But I want to ask you a couple of questions because we've got like 19 minutes left together. But I just wanted to ask you some questions because I want to ask you some things now that I have you here with me because I know you be working. I can't really get you. This is what I want to know. You mentioned the last time that you were here how these things are looking outside of you sometimes. You weren't joking. I know a lot of people heard you say that, and you said it in a very humorous way. But once you start getting on this cleanse and you start taking it, you feel different. And then you can notice when it's not. You notice when it's something else that is motivating you because you know what you are supposed to be eating and not supposed to be eating. That's the first piece. Then the second piece is there is a way. When something is going across your eyeball, I can't describe this because I don't know. Everybody in the chat won't know what I'm talking about, but I think you might. If you feel something that's moving around after you start on this, you can best believe that you had something living in you. I don't need you to say anything to that. I'm just going to put that out there. If you feel something else moving inside of you and you ain't pregnant, yeah, you have some issues going on. Okay.
Here's the bottom line.
Yeah, because there's some stuff that's happening, and I'm like, yikes.
Parasites.
I want to talk about the roundworm too.
The parasites are the number one issue. Is parasites. Whether it's these people that are controlling your life that you think you are allowing to control your life, whether it's your habits, whether it's your subconscious mind. Right? Now, whether it's these little bugs, they are controlling your life because they're all a part of artificial intelligence. It's controlling you. You see, scientists for many years, they didn't want to admit that these little bugs could be controlling society, creating governments and borders. You know, why do you create a border? Why do we create this person and that person's this, religion and that we can't hang out with them? Because people are afraid of plague, the fear of plague, the fear of disease over many years. Look at those people. Look at their hair. It doesn't look like mine. They're probably sick. So, you have this, you're automatically afraid of things that you don't recognize. Where does that come from? Where you don't have courage in yourself. It's because we have been involved in so many situations. We've eaten so many foods that are eating us. The food supply is terrible. They know how to cover it up so you don't look good, so it doesn't look good. I mean, you could take a piece of your very best pork chop or a piece of beef, put Coca-Cola on it, put it in the sun. You'll see the worms come out of it. Well, no, Dr. B, I cook my food really good. Well, your stove only goes to 500 degrees. When you study parasites, they go into a cyst. It's like a little spaceship. They look like little UFOs too. And that thing can withstand up to 1,500 degrees or more.
I don't think people realize, and unless you listen, See, my concern is that I want to be ladylike. I don't want to go outside of myself and make this description. But let me just say this. If you eat the normal standard American diet, and I'm saying this because this is day 7 for me, and you have not done this yet, you will be amazed at what you see leaving you. Okay? And it leaves in many ways. It's not just leaving in one way. I mean, it's leaving in many ways. Whatever way it can run out, it's leaving. And that's all I'm going to say. And I do feel better. And I do notice that my skin is looking better, is feeling better. My eyes I don't go through so many issues. And I noticed that I didn't realize that I was not drinking the amount of water that I need to be drinking until I started this cleanse. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how much inflammation that I had on my body until, my children, my grandchildren, they notice the difference and I notice the difference. But I just got to say, for those of you who are on it with me right now, you have to say that I need some testimonies. I need somebody to tell me something. Inbox me and tell me that you've been on it and you feel the difference so that I know I'm not tripping. Because once you see stuff, like you said, those little capsules leaving, and once you're seeing all this stuff, you're like, wow. And here's my question. I know for me, it's not just one that I need to do. I need to do like a series personally. I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I know that I'm going to have to do these to get all of this together, to get all of this right, to get all this together. This is not the right time for me to be talking because I am gobsmacked. I'm absolutely stunned at what's going on with me. So I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to get on off right here and I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to put some of these like comments and stuff up here. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
First of all, you look amazing. You look like a totally different person. I know a lot of you out there can see it. She has been on the elevated total body program for 7 days. When you do it for 28 days, it changes the chemistry of your body. Your immune system comes online. You begin to get rid of the sugar and the candidiasis, which is a lot of the fungi and a lot of the trash in your system. We don't take out the trash in America. I mean, this is why France don't even want food from here. A lot of countries will not take food from us.
I noticed.
In China, right, the stuff they send here, they don't eat it. That's why they send it here. This is leftover trash.
We're Mikey. We'll eat anything.
We have been under siege. We have been under siege from parasitic people, right? Beings, there was only a few of them, right? That want to control everything. We've been under siege from the ideas that we received about struggle and fighting and competition and looky who and who's there and gossip. We've been under siege with a way that we call the American way, which is, you need to get out of the way of an American. Americans come to a lot of towns. People leave. The Americans are here because we think that this is the top of the world when it's really the side. You know what I'm saying? So it's our eating. It's the way we act. Now, I just saw somebody mention Watico. Somebody mentioned Watico in the comments. Watico, right? Which has a name in almost every culture. Watico is a being or a thing that comes into a group of people or a society and takes over. Watico. Some people
whoever put that in, put it back in, whoever, if you're still here.
It's like, vampirism. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They suck blood, they take things and not give you anything.
Okay.
Watico is another name for parasites. So Watico has for many years been considered a spiritual parasite. They said when it takes over the community, everybody loses their sense of self. They lose spirituality, and they need an outside spiritual, advisor. They can't have their own intuition anymore. You don't know anything. You can't even read your holy book. Somebody's got to read it for you. Read one line. I was in church one time with my grandmother, and the minister said, "I want you to go to Leviticus Lephidians 5. I don't even know if Lephidians, that's what it sounds like. Lephidians 5, chapter 8, word number 12. It says right there.
Oh, well.
It. Then he puts the book, it. Not thinking, and he goes on and talks about
Lephidians.
No, it's Lephidians. You ain't saying it right. He says, I remember years ago when my wife and I, we was on a sojourn to find God, and we got out to the Pacific Ocean, and we saw how beautiful the Pacific Ocean was. And the night came and the sun came down, and it was at sunset. I looked at my wife,
Lord,
and we both had tears in our eyes, and
Lord,
the stars came out.
Oh,
and I said, look up at the sky
and
look at all of God's celestial objects. It's so beautiful. I'm looking at Grandma. Grandma, what the hell is he talking about? Grandma used to eat those hard candies. You said these little hard candies. It was always a bowl with these hard. In fact, I got the candy bowl. For real. The hard candy was the sugar to make the medicine go down. I used to raise my hand at church. Put your hand down, boy. I can't ask the preacher nothing. What is a celestial object? He's saying celestial. What? He can't speak. The man needs to get a reading course. You know what I'm saying? To get hooked on phonics or something. I mean, why? We see
raise your hand in the church.
I raised my hand. Teacher. I'm used to asking questions. I can't ask no questions.
Mercy.
Then they come around and they, we gotta drink this and take that and say these things. What does it mean? Because I ask a question. You can't ask a question.
Oh wow.
Before the world was sugared down, before people were eating hormone foods and you know what I'm saying? When we were eating all these pesticides and bird's eyes and all of this kind of stuff, and all of this food. I mean, what is spam? What is it?
Now that I really
Did you
don't know.
Check it out. Did you know that Hershey's? His thing was, check it out. The Hershey. Okay. He wanted to make a candy bar.
Okay.
But he didn't know it at first.
Okay.
He built a whole town.
Okay.
He said, we're gonna make something. And he built a whole town. And everybody kept saying, well, what's the town gonna do? What are we doing? He says, I don't know.
Hey, what's the hook gonna be?
What is the hook? What's
the hook gonna be?
What's the song about? You know what I'm saying?
He
built this whole town. This is really Hershey's, Pennsylvania. He built this whole town. Yeah. And he's just thinking, he says, now we can find some people that can figure out what we're gonna make. He figures out we'll make chocolate because at that time the Europeans made chocolate and they used whole milk or powdered milk to make chocolate because they created milk chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Now, cacao was eaten by people in South America and what you call Africa for many years. I mean, this is medicine.
Okay.
The fruit alone is amazing. It's got, cacao has more magnesium than almost any plant you could eat. Cacao. It really gives you energy. You see? The Europeans were making milk chocolate.
Okay.
And using natural sweeteners. Well, no, actually, it was unsweetened.
Okay.
It was bitter milk chocolate. Gave people energy. They felt good. Tasted good to them. It was no problem. Well, Hershey, right? He was hearing something else. Hershey. He was hearing his wife talk about she needs something. Hershey, you get it? Anyway, she needed something sweet after intimacy. The part of it I'm ad-libbing. So anyway, so check it out.
Thanks for the disclaimer.
He is working with this guy. And the guy's a food scientist who didn't go to school, and he's figuring it all. They call him a food scientist, but he didn't have any science on food.
Okay.
They let the milk burn. The milk burnt and rotted. The milk burnt and rotted.
Okay.
And it had a funky smell.
Okay. Wow.
Somebody poured the cacao into it and mixed it up.
No.
And they tasted it on the show. They tasted it. And the guy says, oh, well, this is not really right, Mr. Hershey. He says, no, we've got it. That's it. This is it. Milk chocolate.
Ew.
Rotten milk. Processed
goes to
sugar.
That disgust thing you were talking about.
Rotten sugar. And they show him eating it. He's sitting there eating it. You know what I'm saying?
But
Everybody,
he's crazy anyway, though, right?
Well, they're all these folks is, these guys are supposed to be the ones,
mad scientists,
the people that discovered food. There was no food before them. They keep talking about these are the henchmen. They henchmen, all right. And they're all fighting each other, right? But my point is that became this is what people craved.
Mm-hmm.
Was this toxic stuff that gave them a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
Are you following what I'm saying?
I'm following you.
A lot of these foods, because people didn't work and they didn't want to eat fruit anymore. Now, everybody got away from eating in a natural way.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is artificial intelligence. Never mind the computer. You can shut that thing off.
Yes.
You can unplug your television. Do like my homeboy. He came home and the family was watching television. He snatched the television out the wall. The antenna.
Wow.
Remember, he used to have the antenna was separate.
Yes.
Had a knob on it.
Yes.
Turn these little things and ours
aluminum foil.
We had aluminum
to sharpen
foil
everything.
To point towards the right signal.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To see if Walter Cronkite had his coat on or not.
Yes.
But anyway,
right.
My homeboy got pissed. Came home when the family was watching television, eating dinner. Took the whole television, the whole what they call the entertainment system, threw it out the window down 2 floors. No. The people were shocked. Oh my God, he's lost his mind. No. You've lost your mind because you got the devil in the living room selling you stuff you don't even need.
Exactly.
At the same time, in the early 1900s, you got the drug companies coming about.
Mm-hmm.
They go and create a drug, right?
Mm-hmm.
Physo, Hexal, 10, Exo, Hello, here's Shakala.
Hello Kitty.
Now they're going to figure out what we're going to do. Call in a marketing group.
Hello Kitty.
They got this drug, right? They got this drug. We don't even know what it's for. Well, let's create, let me think. Marketing people are sitting around the table trying to figure out what it's going to be for. Well, let's create a disease for this medicine. Let's tell the people about a disease that doesn't really exist. You got restless leg or restless lip. You're talking. You ever see people that be talking and their lips still be moving even when they're not talking, like the Japanese kung fu movies? They got a nervous condition. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes twitching. Do you have left eye twitch disorder? You're twitching and you got something that people normally have in their personality that they say, now, okay, let's turn it into a disease. Tell the people. And they come on television and they start telling you lies about what it's going to do for you. You know what I'm saying? You're sitting around 99 years old, sitting in your wheelchair. You got 28 medicines in front of you, right? You'll really only need one, but the rest of them are for the side effects. Okay. And you're sitting there, and they show you people your same age out playing by the beach, holding hands. The man and the woman is each, looking at each other, playing in the sand like they've had wonderful intimacy last night. They 98.9 years old. They're holding hands, you know what I'm saying? And they got bright clothes. There's seagulls flying by in the background. You get up, honey, listen. Whatever they've got on television, we need to order it now. You know what I'm saying? Get Cambalti Lauta. You know what I'm saying? Cambalti Lauta. Get back to your original self. And they didn't say you was going to be able to have sex all night, right? But they imply that you're going to feel good. So you're sold on the artificial intelligence that's going to your head because it's telling you something and you don't have the natural sense, right? The natural sense of disgust to know that this is some BS. I'm 99 years old. If I hit that thing, I might die. You know what I'm saying? You better be cool. You know what I'm saying? Adjust your comfortable chair.
Oh, mercy.
And relax and get you some water and stop, and don't, what, you about to eat a candied ham? Look, what is a candied ham? Ooh. What is it? A candied ham. Do you think, you know what I'm saying? What is a candied ham? Some buffalo wings. First of all, can't your mind get it together here? Buffalo wings. Buffaloes don't have wings. And if they did, they couldn't fly with them little wings. They take these little pink, ugly, nasty things that's rotten that they cut off the chickens. They cut these off the chickens, right? These chickens were downer birds. That downer birds is birds that either done lost their mind because they're too crowded, it's too hot. You know what I'm saying? They get itchy, they're crowded. You snap. They call them downer birds, or they got cancer or disease, or they got chicken pox. Where you think chicken pox come from? Chickens. They didn't call it cow pox. Cow pox is called mumps. That comes from cows. But The chickens have snapped, so they're sick. So they cut the wings off. That's why you can get 99 wings at the store. There's always a lot of wings. Ain't that many breasts. It ain't that many breasts. Ain't that many, even the legs ain't that many.
You said there's a lot of
now they got the 4-legged chicken. I think Tyson, the one of them, got the 4-legged chicken. So there's a few more legs out there now.
What are you talking about? 4-legged chickens?
Come on now. What? You know about this. You know about this.
A 4-legged chicken?
Yeah, they got the chicken with 4 breasts. That's where they got the chicken McNugget. They made a chicken with 4 breasts.
Wait a minute. I think I do know what you're talking about. I saw the machine, but it was several years ago. There was like a machine and it was just like a torso and then another torso. It was like they literally made the parts off of these manufactured type looking chickens. You're right. I do remember that. Oh, wow. Al Sanchez just said GMO chickens. Wow.
You worried about what was the robot lady's name?
Well, we're not going to talk about her right now.
We can't talk about her.
We're not talking about Sophia.
No, we're going to talk about her.
We're not talking about Sophia.
Right.
No.
You need to figure out who you are. Never mind Sophia. That's her business. You know what I'm saying? What I am saying is that we have eaten cloned, right?
Yeah.
Created. We hear about GMOs.
Yeah.
GMOs. What is a GMO? You think they're new. Oh, they got all these GMO foods. Almost all the food in the store is a GMO. Every banana that you've probably eaten was a GMO because they got one banana tree that they've been cloning forever. That's why they all look exactly the same. You go down to the Caribbean, you eat a real banana, those little teeny ones. Oh my God, you'll go crazy because a lot of those foods down there are not cloned. They're not made. They're not manufactured. You go to the farm now, the bugs are leaving. You think the bugs are trying to eat this? They know it's bad. They don't even touch the food. No bugs. You go to, there's no crickets, no birds. You don't even need a scarecrow anymore. The animals know to be scared of this food that y'all growing that grows at night, grows 24 hours a day.
Wow.
You see? So what we have been caught up in is a few people who are parasitic minded, have sugared you down, used so many sugar and so much poison, right? That you've lost your natural mind. You don't have the sense of disgust. You don't know what's right and wrong. You don't know when to turn off the television. They're about to lie. Okay, the news comes on, they tell you these stories and more in a moment. Did you hear what they just said? Grandpa, they about to lie. Come watch the news. They're going to hang your ass. You know what I'm saying? These stories and more. That's a legal statement.
Oh, my God.
Did you know that's a legal statement? These stories. Stop right there. These stories. That is not a fact. That is not the truth. It's a story. What? The story leads you down the yellow brick road. What's at the yellow end of the yellow brick road? Oz. Well, what is Oz? You got to buy something. They got something on sale. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
They got something on sale. If you took away all the sponsors for the news, it wouldn't be any news. You want to get rid of the news? Get rid of the sponsors. That's who's responsible for the news is the sponsors.
Wow.
This is the news is all about what? To sell you into what? Shock and awe and fear, because fear is a great motivator. And the chickens you ate was afraid. The cows were afraid. All the animals on the farm, they throw kerosene on the pigs.
Wow.
They stick these cattle prods on the cows to shock them. Why? Because the meat is more tenderized. And when the animals are in fear, if the people eat it and they become in fear, now you've got an inferiority complex and you're walking around worried about who's going to save you. You better save your own ass. Never mind save ourselves. Save your ass. How you say, what's that? SYA. Save your ass.
Save your own, right?
In order to do that, you're going to have to detoxify.
I see.
And you can't just do a little colon cleanse.
No, you
Let them put that plastic tube up in your behind and, pump water in there and then reverse it and suck it back out. That's, where'd that come from? You've got to go from the rooter to the tutor, and it's going to take at least 28 days to detoxify from all these chemicals.
Yeah.
At least 28 days to get this thing happening, because your body works in biorhythms based on the moon cycle. It's what they call circadian rhythms. You see, everything in your body is based on what's happening in the heavens. I ain't talking about the horoscope either. I'm talking about the sun rising and the moon setting and the seasons. You see? So if you're eating a watermelon at Christmas, where'd that watermelon come from?
You see.
Your body is confused. When you get the new handy dandy watermelon, you know, have you seen that watermelon? It's the size of a grapefruit. People they got 10 of them in the cart, right? What is that thing? It glows in the dark. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
These things are all genetically modified organisms. You can always tell because the number on your fruit, if it has a 4 in the beginning, that means it's not natural.
Wow.
Nothing natural would eat it. And they're starting to put a 3 on the citrus, a 3. That means that stuff would kill a dog. Dogs don't eat oranges anyway. But my point here is that if it's got a 9 on the number, it says it's organic and the price is higher. Why is the price higher for something you didn't have to do anything to? You had to do
just a second. If there's any suggestions that are in the chat, I need you guys to do me a big, big favor because they are very good sound suggestions. But because this has to go through a feeder once this live is done, it goes through a totally different database and it will not post immediately my chat. So if you don't mind, if you put anything in that you know may be a problem, if you could any of you can please catch your comments. There are 2 exceptional comments that are in here. And it wasn't Grace Me. It wasn't Grace Me. Grace Me, I apologize. It wasn't you because now I'm back on this side looking. I think it was M, and I think it was a very good comment that you made, the last one, and then Watchful and Alert. Both of them are very good comments, but they cannot stay in the chat for obvious reasons, and you guys know we need to keep stuff going. But okay, I'm sorry to stop you, but I had to do that because, well, you guys get me. Thank you for removing those automatically, and if they're not here and they're not gone, maybe they went away from the channel, maybe they had to go to the restroom. One of the mods, give it at least 2 minutes, and then go ahead and remove those if they're not gone in another 60 seconds or so. Okay, go ahead.
Some folks might be saying, well, you could shut this guy up. Messing up my dinner. We were in there basting a normal chicken.
No. I mean, we have a lot of brilliant people.
We had a honey-baked chicken in there.
We got a lot of brilliant people that come into our chat, and they are so full of knowledge and information. And I love it because everybody here likes to, yes, you can, Grace Me. Please do. And because they like to bless one another with information and they use this as like that sounding board. And I love it. But unfortunately, we in somebody else's house and they be tripping. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you all. And they're excellent. They really are. They really, really are. I mean, they are. So go ahead. No, ain't nobody telling you to hush because you're telling the exact truth.
I'm going to hush anyway. I can't hush. We got to say, you got to be passionate. I am passionate. And a lot of folks are just not used to this anymore. They used to say, well, you should eat 1 gram of sugar and 2 grams of fiber. Look, never mind the fiber. Look, you shouldn't eat no sugar at all unless it's a natural sugar. My doctor told me, well, what you don't have enough fiber. How you know how much fiber I mean? You ain't been in my house. Won't you be like Dr. Kildare and what's that old one?
Dr. Welby.
Dr. Welby. I like a well-being. Dr. Well-being, he comes to your house. You see, he looks around, but no, you're at Dr. Maybe's office. Dr. Maybe can't help you. He's guessing. He don't know what's wrong with you. Well, doc, what's wrong? Well, I don't know. We're going to have to send off for some tests. Let's take some of your dead blood, put it in a vial, and send it off to a lab. And, a lot of things get confusing at the lab. And, we're going to bring your dead blood back in 2 weeks and try to analyze the dead blood for you as a living person and what could happen. Mm-hmm. They have a live blood microscope where they could test your blood right there. When I first got into studying parasites, there was a guy in LA who used to, go to all my lectures and test people's blood. You take blood and put it right under the microscope, and he would show you all the parasites in your blood right there. By the time it gets to the lab and comes back, and the labs all got different analysis and different ways they look at it. So your labs came back a little funny, B. So you get scared. Fear comes in. You feel good. You came jogging in here in your jogging suit. You feel great when you got to the doctor's office. You leave limping, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Half your hair.
Poked and prodded on you.
You feel bad. Well, we saw something in it. We're not sure what it is. You know what I'm saying? What did you see? Well, we're not sure. How have you been feeling? I was feeling good till I came up here with your white coat. You know what I'm saying? Now I got white coat syndrome. I'm nervous. Or your blood pressure's a little high. Because you done told me some crazy stuff. And the nurse, she didn't look too good. She looked like she can't drink no more coffee. Her skin is stretched. She had those nylons on her. Don't look like a vajayjay got any oxygen lately. Y'all up in here with rubber gloves, and you want me to be naked the whole time, and and I got a question, Doc. What the hell is with this little paper towel you put across the pleather bed? It ain't even real leather no more. It's only 12 inches diameter, and the bed is 3 feet in diameter. You want me to lay down on there? I can't even lay on this thing because I can't fit on the little paper towel. One of my buttocks is touching that pleather. They told me that the virus lives on the pleather for up to 6 weeks. They always got this 6 weeks. 6 weeks or 6 feet, 6 days. Doc, this is nasty. This is nasty. It's nasty up in here, Doc. I need to keep my shoes on. And please don't take off that underwear condom. I saw that over at I bought that at a holistic festival out in California. They had a holistic condom. It was like an underwear condom. See, cover everything up because it's bad out there. You know what I'm saying? You need a special suit nowadays. Never mind a condom, you're condemned. You see? What's the problem? The problem is I done watched the news. I done ate we had bruised corn and glazed chicken that they tried to call some buffalo wings, right? The food ain't named right. I ate some food that had yoga mat plastic. Why does my food have yoga mat plastic? That's okay. The FDA says, well, it's generally considered to be okay. Yoga mat. Look it up. You think Dr. B, he's just joking. I don't crack any jokes. I'm just passionate. I'm a little out there because I ate some yoga mat bread too. That stuff was so spongy. I grew up near the Wonder Bread plant, and we was wondering how this bread didn't never go bad. Wonder Bread didn't never go bad.
Goodness.
Wonder Bread had little red, white, and blue little bubbles on it. You know what I'm saying? It was the bread of America. We used to drive on Route 91 up in Connecticut past the Wonder Bread plant. And whenever you pass the plant, going from Hartford to Windsor, people got quiet. People were in their cars just standing. When you got off the freeway at a light, people were just staring. Because guess what? It was yoga mat material. They hadn't even made yoga mats back then yet. They had the material to make yoga mats. They got that idea from bread. You squeeze the loaf of bread and it pops right back. You know what I'm saying?
Like sponge cake.
You remember that? You squeeze the bread and it pops right back.
Yeah.
They said, it saved what was something in 12 ways, and it was what was the commercial they used to have? It saves lives in 12 different ways. Boy. It don't save your life. It saves the people that made it that's not eating its lives.
Because they know what's in it.
They're living in castles with moats with. You know what I'm saying? They got their own
a moat.
They
got castles with moats.
Oh, in Connecticut, believe me. In Greenwich, Connecticut, there are listen, I'm from Connecticut. There's houses with moats. They have gold and silver glitter in the concrete. Wow. Greenwich, Connecticut.
Wow.
Right next to New York. You got helipads, heliports in the backyard, tennis. You know what I'm saying? The people down the street, not too far, they don't even know what a tennis court is. They don't know that you're out getting knocked back and forth because they're feeding people, they're allowing people and giving people so much poison. This is Watico. This is the ghost. This is the story of the vampire, the vamp. You see, it's in your food. It's not some creature that pops up at night with a cape on, trying to rap to you and then bite your neck. No, it's in the package. You open up the bread or you open up the stuff and it bites your neck. And guess what? Now you're a zombie and you need more. You're trying to convince your family to eat all your food, Johnny. Johnny, don't get up till you eat all your food. Wow. Johnny, was born a vegan. All he knew about was a little breast milk. Breast milk was cool. Ain't nothing wrong with a little breast milk. Come on, get that child off the breast quick. He used to be able to let the child breastfeed till he was 5 years old. Now get him off as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? We need a child. Give him some formula. What is in the formula?
What they're giving recalls on right now.
Now the child all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? He's got ADD, ADHD, ABCD. There's something wrong. He's on the spectrum. You was on the spectrum if you gave him that. It gets wild. And I'd like to let me say this much right now. I'm going to take a breath.
Okay.
My life has been dynamic.
Okay.
I'm very grateful to be here. I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. I've had trauma, but I've used a lot of the trauma, right, to bring opportunity, because I'm here as a messenger at a time of no time to tell you now in 2022, you're going to have to get it together, because you ain't going to be around, or you're not going to be normal and natural in 2023. When they dropped that ball in January, right? They dropped the crystal ball, right? They didn't even have, nobody was even there to watch it this year. You had to watch it on television, because the air was toxic. There's something out there. If you breathe it, you stay 6 feet apart. And the reason why you got to be 6 feet apart, because your heart, did you know that the electrical impulse of your heart travels 6 feet from your body? So you can feel other people. You see what I'm saying? You go check out the Heart Math Institute and study the heart. Your heart has more neurons than your physical brain.
Wow.
Your skin has more neurons than your brain. Your gut has more neurons than anything else in your body. Your gut. We used to have a gut instinct. You used to be able to feel it wasn't right. You see, you used to be able to walk in the grocery store. You walk in the grocery store and you sniff the air. And you smell that it's a morgue in the back.
Yep.
You can smell it. If once you start cleansing and detoxifying, you can tell something ain't right. Something ain't right. Something's not right. I don't want to eat anything in here. I went in a store in LA one time and I was walking down, right, looking for, this is when I was going through my transition from being a, everything eater to a vegetarian or I was an omnivore. That means eat everything. So I was walking by the meat and I saw this rat jump up, looked over at me, bit down into the little plastic, took a piece of meat and ran away. So I went and got the manager. There's rats in here. Where? This is funny. Where's the rats? Rats don't wait around for you to take pictures of them. They not trying to be on Instagram, posing. They're rats. They still got their sense of being able to survive. They know how to get their stuff together here. So I called the manager. He says, where is he? What are you going to do if you saw him? Are you about to catch him? It's rats in the grocery store. That means everything in here is toxic. You're supposed to shut this sucker down now. You think they're going to do that? They're not going to do it, because the people are just, you're just consuming. You're just living to the next holiday. Oh, I can't wait till we get to the next holiday. You wake up Monday, you're in mourning. You understand what I'm saying? You're in mourning and, oh my God, I got to go to work. Most people have heart attacks Monday morning. Right? It's the number one time of heart attacks, because you don't want to go, and every day of the week you're living in the days like a zombie of the week, WEAK, and then Friday you're getting cooked. You know what I'm saying? You figure Friday's the day to fry fish. No, they're frying your ass. You're fried. And then Saturday, you get a day to sit around, maybe use the toilet. Some people don't even use the bathroom till the weekend.
Man.
Can't do that. I don't want to use the toilet at the job.
Yeah.
I don't want to use that toilet because, woo, I just don't use that toilet. I just don't use it. Use it. Why? I just don't use it. It's nasty. Because you got a sense of something's wrong. So on the weekend, you finally get to release. Do you know what you have done all week by not using the restroom? If you eat 3 meals, you're supposed to go 3 times.
At least.
But because of the toxic nature of the way we're living, you're full of it. You can't even think. You don't have yourself. So we have a wonderful opportunity now. Because on the 21st of March is the beginning of the real, actual, what they call solar new year.
Correct.
Begins on March 21st when the sun crosses the equator. And all plants in the northern hemisphere spring back to life. Life springs forward. So this is the time traditionally that people that still had their natural senses cleansed and detoxed. It's an opportunity to leave this system. Let it go for a minute. You take a break.
Yeah.
Turn off. You got to fast. You just don't fast. You sit around talking about you on a water fast, but you watching the news 24/7. That ain't no fast.
Yeah, you got to cut out. You have to shut down.
You got to shut down.
Yeah.
It's so what I'm saying is it's an opportunity in springtime when the weather changes, the vibration of the earth changes, for you to change along with it. That's only natural. This is what all people who have been successful have done. But because we have followed this system, since the 60s and 30s and 20s, and we've got what we call colony collapse disorder. The colony that's when the queen, right? The queen bee or the queen ant or the matriarch of any group of beings has been affected, infected. She's defected because she has gone along with this stuff and marched her family right into it. So now the colony is going to collapse. Once you mess with the queen, once you play around with the matriarch, the feminine essence, once you get the women to believe they got to look a certain way, they got to act a certain way, they got to wear a bunch of cologne to smell good, they got to buy this, they got to want this, you know what I'm saying? This holiday, they got to do this. Once you do that, the whole society is going to collapse at some point.
Wow.
Once you have men running the whole show,
wow,
you got a problem. That's why they want little Johnny to go off to war, to be, go fight a war. Well, Dad, what's the war about? I don't know, but you got to do what they say. Eat your food, Johnny. Johnny's like, I don't like this stuff. It tastes rubbery. Oh, it's okay. A little rubber is good for you.
A little yoga mat's good for you.
Wait till you get over the war. You're going to be eating that stuff in a can. It's going to be, dehydrated. So they get you to believe and go along with a bunch of things that you don't understand. You're sitting in church. You don't understand. You eat food. You don't realize that you haven't used the bathroom.
Thank you, Marty.
So what I'm conveying, and like I said earlier, I'm adamant and I'm excited. So I'm attempting to get us to use this time, this 2022, to wake up, because after this, it's the gravity is too big. What has happened? And they do a little bit at a time. If you take a frog and throw him in a hot pan of water, he'll jump out immediately.
He's got good sense.
If you take that same frog and put it in cool water, put it on the stove and heat it slowly, he never jumps. He just fries. So slowly over time, we are being terraformed. Terraform is when you heat things up, create enough terra on Earth. Earth is also called terra. You see? Till you become terracotta. You're like a stone. You're stiff. Well, you better be serious, Dr. B. There's too many jokes. I can't deal with what you're saying. You don't have enough scientific facts. You haven't mentioned any graphs. And, I don't say, what's with your hair, Dr. B? Can you comb it and get a more, more acceptable hairdo and a more acceptable? How come there's no collar on your shirt? People ask me some crazy questions.
Okay, Grace.
Why are you so wild, Dr. B? Can you slow down? No, we don't have time. If you feel what I'm saying, and some of you do, I know a lot of you out there understand being in emergency. It means you're urged to emerge now. What they know is that because of where we are in space and time on this 26,000 year calendar, right? Once you study the great year, once you study the sacred geometry, right? You will know that we are in a place, right, where we're supposed to be waking up. 6,000 years we've been asleep. 6,000 years we've been so far away from the truth, so far away from the solar sun, the original sun, our spiritual sun, that we fell asleep. We was in the Iron Age, which got rusty and then became the Rusty Age, and now we're rusty and iron, and now they're saying we're in artificial intelligence is taking over. It doesn't have to. If you become authentic again, just take a break for a minute. Now, somebody asked me, they said, well, Dr. B, what's the difference between your cleanse and the one I saw at Half Foods over there? It was $9.99 at the counter. It had, a little, couple of ingredients in it. First of all, I am a scientist. That may not sound like it, but I am. Okay? When I was at UCLA at the lab, right? I watched what they did. I studied very carefully. It takes 28 days to detoxify the body. Just to begin the detoxification. It takes a full 3 months to get the deep cellular, intracellular detoxification. And there's 104 nutrients that you have to have in order to get the body to rebuild itself. You see? So we use herbs, essential oils, flower essences. We use magnetic resonances. We use crystal elixirs and what we call sound vibrations, right? To get these elixirs to unfold and give up the energy that they came to give, because everything is on the planet that we need. It's in nature. It's natural. People think that, this stuff is unnatural because it just came up. They just think, well, this whole thing about the eating good, that's just, it's just a fad. Listen, people are leaving the planet faster than ever. People are losing their minds. There's more disease now than there's ever been. We're supposed to be in the modern society, so intelligent. There's diseases every week. They got a new one. There's a new, you're talking about one virus. I mean, come on. They just had the Evian outbreak. You know, the Evian virus comes from chickens. You think chickens are natural? They're not. Pigs are not natural. Cows are not natural. These are cloned and hybrid and made through what they call animal husbandry. So when you eat them, your body doesn't know what to do with it. It would be different if you were eating deer. You're eating real fish instead of the ones that live at the bottom of the ocean, which they tell you in almost every belief system don't eat.
Yeah.
It'd be different if you ate things that were naturally occurring, that knew how to take care of itself and had a sense of what? Life.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not eating that anymore. Why? Because we've been corralled and we're afraid, right, to get off the farm because of sugar. Toxoplasma.
Mm-hmm.
We're afraid because we've been taken over by these parasites, which are aliens that are controlling your thought period, your thought patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people say, well, Dr. B, I take cloves and black walnuts and you know what I'm saying? And I use diatomaceous earth. Believe me, I've studied all those.
And I've tried a lot of that stuff compared to this. This is off the chain. Because
those are great for the colon.
This is off the chain.
Just get 2 tablespoons of, it's great. Get 2 tablespoons of papaya seeds and eat that. Mm-hmm. That helps to get rid of the parasites in your colon. Mm-hmm. What about the systemic parasites that live in the liver, the kidneys, the spleen? What about the ones that's in your thyroid while your hormones are off? Why a lot of people have heart disease because they've got this heartworm in their heart. People have got parasites in their brain. And the sugar, check it out, the sugar feeds them. And they make you eat more sugar and more junk food and talk more junk and act junky and have more toxic of a lifestyle, because now, as long as you're not at home, somebody else can live there. You've been a host. You bring the drinks. You
provide the shelter.
Come here from
You sound like R2D2.
Don't worry about where it comes from. It's your business. Where are you coming from? Mm-hmm. Once you detoxify your body, doing something like our elevated total body program, which Felicia here is doing. Look at her. She's a totally different person. She's only on it 7 days because her body has been calling for this. Mm-hmm. Your body is asking you. It's trying to get you to wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Dorothy. You're in a dream. You got the slippers on. You're asking the witch, the good witch, to help you. Which witch are you witching with? You see what I'm saying?
You witchy woman.
You're afraid. You don't think you have a brain unless you get a degree. You don't think you have a heart unless you get a degree. You don't have courage unless somebody tells you you're crazy. You don't think you look good until somebody says, oh my God, Felicia, your hair looks great. Then you say, oh my God, I got a comment. I feel good. Oh, I didn't get any comments for the last few years. I didn't feel like I wasn't great enough. Because we need outside influence to give us stuff, but there's really an inside influence that's in us all. It's in the God molecule. It's in the sacred geometry. The life force that's in us all, right, is talking to you from inside. But you've got to clean up your system.
Yeah.
You got to get your pineal gland working again. You got to get your hypothalamus working again, so you'll know when you're satisfied. So when you'll know when to not do things. You'll know when to know how and when to know not how. When to know when and when to know how and how to know when. You'll know when it's time to talk and when it's time to be quiet. I have been told that it was time for me to break it down and go all the way in. I had to wait. They said, right around this whole pandemic or whatever's supposed to be happening, they said, Dr. B, you're going to have to come online and drop it. So I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I'm passionate. I love people who love themselves. But those of you who cannot hear and don't want to hear, we're not trying to convince you of anything. Do the research on anything I've talked about. Okay? Try to kill Toxoplasma with some cloves and some diatomaceous earth. Toxoplasma, you'll be reaching for the product in the store and your hand will start shaking. You'll get nervous, and all of a sudden you forget it, and all of a sudden you hear, oh, there's chicken on sale. The chicken wings, the bad chicken wings are on sale. You got a club card to get 25 wings for the price of one. Come on out. And you hear it on the speaker, and you say, well, I was going to eat some, Doctah B said to eat some mustard greens and something green, but let me go just check on the chicken, see how cheap it is. And now you're walking down the aisle, right, like a zombie. You get there, and then you say, but no, we're not going to, I'm doing a cleanse. I can't eat chicken. And you hear the chicken saying, Marianne, it's a barbecue season. Then you go to the barbecue aisle, and you get this barbecue sauce, which is mostly sugar, right?
Help me, Lord.
It's mostly sugar, and you put that over the chicken wings, and you're out barbecuing, but you're being barbecued by the people who are running the world, and you're saying that they're doing this to me. No, you have to make a choice. Are you ready to stand up? Never mind trying to call these people and write a letter. We're going to write a letter to the governor. You think the governor's reading your letter? The governor's worried about his own butt. You understand what I'm saying? The president, he's my president. Well, we'll go down there. Hey, go down to D.C., see if he's there, first of all, right? Knock on his door and try to figure out what he's talking about. He's telling you to save your ass. Remember that time when they had down in Louisiana when the hurricane came and the president, he heard the people was on the roofs. The levees had broke and people was on the roof, and they came and told him he was at a school, right? Reading a little book to the school. He wasn't reading it. He was actually having them read, and he was looking because, he had a little issue with, never mind. Right. Anyway, that's why he came up with that program, leave no children, let no children be left behind, because he had got left behind. You know what I'm saying? They keep staying back and putting them back and putting them back. He had been in, he's like 40 years old, still in 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he's a president. You know what I'm saying? Every time every time you see him, he's got an Air Force jacket on. They said he wasn't in the military. The president got an Air Force jacket on and a little flag, and you feel like, oh my God, we got to do whatever he says. He's the president. You got to become the president and become present to become the president in yourself. When those people were on the roof, what did he do? He left them there. After that, you should have known they're not coming for you. You've got to have water in your house. You get some dried navy beans and things like that to store up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Get some brown rice or some quinoa. Have natural food. Have candles and water and be ready, because the stuff is hitting the fan. The water has been turned up. The heat. You're the frog, right? You need to jump out the water. How do you start? Loving yourself. You see, we all got together, right? And we put it together so that Felicia could get a cleanse.
Yeah, and those I appreciate all of you who,
the last time I was on, I said, look, she needs to get a program. So we put it all together, right? And, people here at Elevation, we all said, let's get Felicia a program. She looks like a totally different person. Look at her.
You guys.
Look how she's glowing. She's a perfect example of change and shift. She's taking hold of her life. Look at her eyes. Look how clear they are. You know what I'm saying? Last time I saw her, I was worried. I was like, oh, God. I don't know. I thought I saw something looking out of Felicia's eye. What was that looking out of your eye, looking back at you? You see, you look up in the sky, you see little floaters going by your eye. What do you think those are? Parasites. So why do I focus on parasites? And the next time I'm on, I'm going to tell you my story of how I got into this piece on parasites. Because I had been an herbalist for many years. But the parasite issue hit me at a specific time, and we'll talk about that on our next show.
You gonna come back soon? Are you gonna come back in a couple of weeks, or when do you want? Because I know you're gonna come back.
We're gonna do at least once a month.
Okay, once a month.
We got to check on you to make sure the chickens haven't called. Chickens
I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody.
Chickens be calling the chicken ID of call out there chicken, and you answer it. And you talk to chicken head Willie. You know what I'm saying? But my point here is that love is in the air. It's springtime. Yeah. This is the time to cleanse and detoxify, and not just do a little baby cleanse. You know what I'm saying? And, really detoxify the body to the root. And those of you who would like to do this at this time, we have a special for you. There's a special. You're going to get 10% off. First, everything on the website is on sale if you go to elevationtime.com. Not everything, but the main programs.
Yeah.
And if you do this week before Saturday, you'll get a special 10% off coupon by typing FEB, F-E-B, 2022. So that's Feb, short for February, 2022. If you do that now, you can get the elevated total body program at a special deal, right? And you'll be right in time to detoxify yourself to get the energy that's coming through at this time. There's a special energy that those few little people who are trying to run the world don't want you to get. This energy is cosmic energy. There is something happening in the stars. We're in the photon band. Please look that up, what that means. Every 13,000 years, something happens on the planet. All the people change. All of a sudden, they can build megalithic things and raise stones, and they got energy. They become superhuman. Well, the people in charge who are parasitic, they in no way desire for you to wake up from the deep sleep, Dorothy. They don't want you to know you got to cleanse your body. You can read all the books, study everything, and be as smart as a whip, but dumb as a doornail. That's a good one. Smart as a whip, but dumb as a doornail. You see what I'm saying? You're sitting there eating your book, eating your food as, basically is a candy. You know what I'm saying? Wake up in the morning, you eat Captain Crunchies. What the hell is that? Fruit Loops. You don't know you're already fruity. You put that in some milk. You don't realize that the milk has got recombinant bovine growth hormone in it.
What?
Recombinant bovine growth hormone. Nah, they don't have to put it on the label. 10% of the recipe does not have to be on the label in America. That 10% is what is crucial. It's crucial. Why I can hide 10%? Yes. FDA tells you how many roach hairs and rat legs and all this toxic stuff that can be in your food, and it's okay. You think the FDA is checking your food? They're not. That's not their business.
It's not their gig.
That once you get sick, if enough people get sick and report it, we'll all say, okay, well, let's take it off the market.
Yeah, because I do recalls all the time. I'm reading recalls all the time. You said F as in Frank EB2022, right?
Yes, that's your
okay. I'm putting that in the chat. But no, I mean, I read them all the time. I mean, we've actually, me in the chat, we've actually started doing them because as they come in, we're knowing people aren't finding this information out. And it went from meat now to ice cream, now to fruits and vegetables and salads and salad dressing and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's like nobody's minding the store. Nobody's washing the store.
Did you know that iceberg lettuce is parasite? You say, wait a minute, Dr. B.
What?
Iceberg
lettuce. Because I only
use
romaine, but I'm amazed.
The Romans wanted to live, so, iceberg lettuce takes more energy to digest than it gives to your body. It's considered a parasite. Foods that take more energy right from you than they can give to you are parasitic.
So that's the reason why it's not on my list with my kit. It's not.
You get your
iceberg.
book,
it's like don't do. Yeah, I have that. I have
get your book right in here. I have a list of the foods. Just this book alone is valuable.
Oh, the book alone is off the chain. I love the book. I'm sitting here with everything from tax papers to all kinds of stuff. I look like a hermit.
Tax papers.
I look like a hermit. However, I have that booklet, and that booklet is very helpful. It's very, very helpful. And I noticed that it says do not do the iceberg lettuce. But I got the organic romaine, but I don't really care for the iceberg. But that romaine lettuce, and then of course I'm in love now with turnips, with just the actual turnip itself, just to peel them off really good and then steam them, and they're nice and they give me that crunchy feeling that I want. But I mean, and then loads of water and clean water. I mean, I haven't felt like this in ages, and it's just day 7, and that's the part that I'm tripping on. It's like my feet feel nice and they're not all puffy. I don't feel like a rolling balloon anymore. I felt like a Rose Bowl float for a minute. I was like, what is going on? I thought I was losing it. Literally, I felt like I was out of control. So if this is just day 7, I'm just thankful to Yah to see what's coming after that. I'm so happy. I'm happy. Let me shut up. Go ahead, talk.
Felicia, it's interesting. You mentioned turnips. And the reason why you're craving turnips, because turnips have a very special ingredient. It's a special type of sulfur. Sulfur, right? Like there's another type of sulfur called MSM that a lot of people take for their joints. That's sulfur.
Yeah.
Like garlic has sulfur. Certain things have sulfur. Sulfur helps to break down. See, inflammation is like a jelly. It's a jelly in the area where there's, your body is trying to heal from something, right? So the jelly comes, right, to try to soothe the area, but then you don't have enough enzymes to break down the jelly called inflammation. So you got a bad knee. You've had a bad knee for years. You can tell it's going to rain because you're limping, right? Because the inflammation, right, is coming because you don't have enough enzymes. Well, the turnips have special enzymes in them. You can smell it. That's why they smell like that, right?
I mean, I've been eating them,
but the sulfur is important. That's why in all of those old movies, right, it was all about sulfur and silver to kill the werewolf. You needed a stick burned and, and dip it in sulfur. And the silver bullet is the one that killed Wolfman or bat, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They had there were messages in those things, but we need more sulfur. You see, and we don't need the sulfur things that like that. You get these plums and things like that, and they sulfur them. That's not the right type of sulfur. That's something they're using to keep it from going bad. But there's a natural sulfur occurring in the soil. You see, so the list of foods that we list in this booklet, which is, I don't know of a list like
that booklet
anywhere.
Is off the chain.
Because we have studied with food scientists all over the world.
I mean, that and sauerkraut.
There's a very old book called The Science of Eating. Early 1900s, there's a book called The Science of Eating. And they talked about how they're going to control the world through food and through the gut and through the getting rid of people's natural desires, inclinations to do, things that's best for their family. And what happens is with certain parasites like the Toxoplasma, I'm only mentioning 1 out of 2,000 parasites. Wow. Toxoplasma causes you to do self-harm. It will cause you to do something to kill yourself softly. It causes your immune system not to recognize a toxin or a poison. It causes you to believe in something that's unbelievable. Oh God, did you hear what they said on the news? It didn't even make any sense to you. So what we have is a situation where we've got these parasites, we've got sugar, we've got the television, the 6 o'clock news, the 5 o'clock news, the news, and you're being hung out to dry. I am saying we have an opportunity in the spring of 2020 to change everything. People, just before this whole last 2-year situation, you notice people were coming alive. People were marching, shutting things down, right? People were coming together all over the world. When things start coming together and the people begin to wake up and the sheep begin to get off the farm, what do? More fear. We got to scare the smithereens out of them. What can we come up with, Jim? What we got? I got it. Yes, we're going to call it. Just tell the people we got something. We got a cure. You know what I'm saying? For that was that. You don't even know what they're saying. It sounds backwards. It sounds convoluted. But there was cognitive dissonance because it was an authority figure and he talked a certain way. You couldn't tell where he was from.
And he had on a white coat and the glasses.
A white coat. It was a maniac. You know what I'm saying? And they had, he had degrees behind him and graphs. You got to have graphs.
You got to have the graphs.
Without the graphs, it's not going to work. Have graphs behind you. Little lights and have that music. News, breaking news. How does news break? You know what I'm saying? Breaking news. There's a storm coming in. I mean, it's a whopper. You think the last round was big. This one's gonna be a killer. How do you know this? Why are you still at the station? You should be home with your family. You
don't be so dedicated.
People are holding on. There's a hurricane. I mean, come on. What kind of job you got where you're gonna go out and chase hurricanes? The wind is blowing. We're out here now. The wind is at 555 degrees. And, hold on, Jim. I'm getting a report. Wait a minute, just John. Okay. They said the storm just turned left. And hold on. We got a candied ham commercial coming. We'll be right back with you. Hold on to get you candied ham. Candied ham. Candied ham has been around since. Back to you, Jim. Okay, I'm still out here now. The wind is getting higher. You know what I'm saying? We're going to commercial. We'll be right back at you. Next thing you know, you got the breakfast of champions. You see these people jumping over hurdles on the box. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness!
All of a sudden, Uncle Ben is happy. He's smiling. He used to have a smirk on his face. Aunt Jemima, all of a sudden, she's got a hairdo. She's happy. They gave her a teeth job. Come on, man. It's marketing. They show you these people playing with the children and they're 49, 56 years old. They can't even really pick up a ball, but they're actors. I am saying, who are you? It's about getting to our authentic selves. It's about becoming lovers again. Let's stop talking about each other so bad. Never mind Sophia, the magic monkey. You know what I'm saying? What that got to do with anything?
I don't want to know about Sophia anymore.
All this stuff, it doesn't. What makes a difference is what you do in your home tonight.
Yeah.
Drink some water and some lemon. And hold hands. Have a grace period before you dive into your food. Love yourself. Go make love. Find out
I've gone through
what in your life is not love.
Boatloads of these.
You're going to have to convert what in your life is not love. Food is connected to love and family. Every family event is about the food, but a lot of it is not food. You know what I'm saying? It's industrial waste. It's man-made. It's, you know, it's yoga mat material. You can leave it out. You know, it don't even go bad. The only thing they talk about going bad is that turkey. You leave that turkey out, you could die. Don't mess with that turkey now. They tell you on the turkey package, right? When you buy a turkey,
don't leave it out.
Don't wash it. Did you know this?
I know that.
Do not wash the turkey. You know why?
Don't wash it?
It says don't wash the turkey.
No, I didn't know that.
Go to the store, look on the turkey package. It says warning. Don't call the 800 number because it's going to be too late. Don't wash the turkey. Why? Because it's got bacteria, Campylobacter, and these other, it's about 5 different types of bacteria on the turkey. When you wash it, your water comes down and hits it and sprays through your kitchen, microscopic droppings through your whole kitchen. If you wash the turkey, you're supposed to call, right? What? The poison control. They come in the soup because your whole house is toxic, but you don't know it because you're numb. You can't smell it. Can't you smell that? You can smell the thing and see it's not right. That's not what a wild turkey smells like. This is the little white turkey that just walked up, you know what I'm saying? Lived on a farm, didn't run away. You see, these are things that are made through animal husbandry, and they're full of parasites. Their immune systems don't work well. So we have become parasitic too. And we gravitate towards trash because we don't want to feel bad. Oh God, Dr. B, I don't know what I could, what would I do? What would I eat? Look, there's over 250 foods that you can eat that are real foods. There's only about 9 of them I tell you don't touch. There's so many chemicals in our life because we want to live this fast life. I mean, my grandmother used to wash the windows with what? Vinegar and newspapers. They were the cleanest windows in the world. Now they got some stuff in your blue cleaner that cleans your windows. It says, if you look up the ingredients, it says not to smell it. Called poison control, some of these labels say. This is what you're cleaning your house with. Because it's really clean, you know? Because, you know, you need scrubbing bubbles. What the hell is a scrubbing bubble? What is that? So you believe in the advertisers. That's artificial intelligence. Never mind Sophia. You see what I'm saying? Never mind what she's talking about. The artificial intelligence is when you believe, right, that you're not in hell when you're in hell. So let's wake up, y'all. Let's be lovers again. Let's have time, right, to emit. Let's be creative again. Let's do something new. It hasn't been working. You know, people have been suffering from pre-existing conditions. Do you know what that is? One of them is insanity. Have you looked up? I need you to do this, Felicia.
Okay.
Look up schizophrenia and put it on the screen. You gotta do it. Look up schizophrenia.
Okay.
I'm gonna be quiet until you find it. I'm gonna drink a little Mountain Valley water in glass.
Alrighty. Okay. Do you want me to look up treating or
what is it?
Symptoms? The treatment?
No. What is it?
Oh, okay. Let me do that. Okay. So I'm gonna read it. Let's see.
Put it on the screen. So people, can you put it on the screen?
Yeah, I got people like standing in my screen side though. Hold on just a second.
Okay,
here we go. Here we are. Okay, here we go. Got it. It's pulling it up. Taking you back to where the groove is at. Okay. And now let me put it on this side. Let me share the screen. Okay, here you go. All right, so this is from the National Institute of Mental Health. Okay, and if you want, I can read it. Do you want me to read it to you?
See, you do a little too deep. Go back. Schizophrenia.
Okay, that's it.
No, don't go to the National Institutes of Health. Go back. Google schizophrenia.
Okay. Just want to know what it means, right?
What is it? What is it?
Okay.
Because they got a whole thing. National Institutes of Health. Come on, you got it.
Well, it just goes here. It just tells you what it is at the first paragraph there.
What's it say?
It says that schizophrenia is a serious mental illness that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. People with schizophrenia may seem like they have lost touch with reality, which causes significant distress for the individual, their family members, and their friends. If left untreated, the symptoms of schizophrenia can be persistent and disabling. However, effective treatments are available. I think you're looking for a different meaning,
they
right?
said it. They just said it. All you got to do is read the beginning of it.
Okay. Well, that's what it says here. I'm going to find another one.
Definition. Here we go. You ready?
I am.
Schizophrenia, a long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawn from reality, personal relationships into fantasy and delusions, and a sense of mental fragmentation. Did you hear that?
Yes.
All you got to do is write schizophrenia definition.
Wow.
Did you just hear that? I just explained what's happening with people.
Wow.
This is almost everybody.
Yes, you did.
A long term, it's been going on since the early 1900s. A long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relationship between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawal from reality and personal relationships into fantasy and delusion, and a sense of mental fragmentation. Did you hear that?
I heard every single
Does that
inch of
sound
that.
like the condition we're in right now?
That sounds exactly like the condition that we are in right now. Wow. Wow.
One of the symptoms of toxoplasma is chronic schizophrenia.
Wow.
Just the part about being withdrawn from reality. Fractured. You can't see and hear what they're really telling you. You walk in the store and it's 29 poisons on the box. And you don't read it and you buy it. And you bring it home for your children. You can't take some carrots and some peas and grind them up in the blender and give it to your child. Every year, right? The people that make the baby food, I don't want to put their name out there. Every year they find out it's glass and poison and all kinds of stuff in there. They got to recall.
That's true. That's true.
And the stuff has got sugar and salt. And it's the pesticides that they use on the crops. You're going to need to grow some things. You're going to need to do a little more, personal work within yourself. All of us at this time, because our very existence is at hand. And I'm very serious about this. We've got to stop talking about what they're doing to us.
Yes.
What are you doing to yourself? You got them in your cupboard. You got Watico, right? And the ghost and the goblins and all you're talking about the corporations. They're in your cupboard. You bought their stuff and brought it home for your family, or you're eating it.
So sinister.
Wondering,
once you start eating it,
we have become sin.
Yeah. The word
sin means to miss
the mark.
Miss the target. It's an archery term. Are you born into sin? Are you ready to leave being sinful? We can blame the companies. It's the people. You drive the system with your choices. Let's get out of what the problem is and what they did and what will we do for ourselves. You see? You can get the detox now that changes people's lives. There's thousands of people all over the world have done our total body and our elevated total body programs. Thousands. Some folks have said that we've got one of the best programs they've ever had because it's not just cleansing. It's doing a systemic detoxification. It's rejuvenating the liver, the kidneys, the spleen, all your glands. It's feeding them with at least 104 nutrients. So you're not just detoxing and stripping the body. You're also, rejuvenating the cells, rejuvenating your organs. You see, you got to get to the point of jubilee where your cells are dancing. You see, your cells are happy to get some real nutrition. You see? And for this time period, you're fasting from the things that what are causing you to move fast towards your grave. It's in the food. It's the Soylent Green movies. It's the They Live movie. All of that stuff is real now. But don't blame them. You must take it into yourself. Take control of the wheel. Have you what? Lost the power to control your vehicle? Have you fallen asleep at the wheel? We all did. Me too. I was asleep, you know what I'm saying, in the back seat. The car was just on automatic pilot. You see all these automatic pilot cars is crashing now. Same thing with the automatic pilot people were crashing. Stock market's up and down. It's wild. It's a wild ride. So you've got to get out of the crosshairs by doing it. Let's not complain anymore. Let's start today. All of us here on this program. See yourself and feel yourself in a better world by choosing it. You've got to become superhuman. We got to learn how to breathe again, how to love again, how to reach those high states, and to know when we're satisfied, when we've had enough. You mean to tell me if my hypothalamus has got too much sugar, I don't know when I've had enough? That means they can beat you and lie to you, and you still haven't had enough. You still turn it on tomorrow. That's because you're anesthetized. That's why, things like Oxycontin and painkillers are so big. It's because people feel pain. They don't know how to feel happy and joyful anymore until they make the change. Well, let me tell you, you can join the group right now that's becoming the next set of very wealthy, healthy, and wise people on the planet. You see, right now, the whole world is changing. Would you like to change? Are you ready to feel better, look better, talk more clear, love better, be healthier, have your joints begin to work correctly, stop getting old and grow young? Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to let go of some of these diseases that somebody told you was incurable, right? They might be incurable because there's still a term that the government owns that says you can't use it, but you can heal. 28 days is the beginning of the vibration of the new you. You're planting the new seeds that are going to germinate. You're going to reap what you sow. So what you plant now is going to grow in the fall. In the fall of man, you won't have to worry about the fall of man. Let him fall. Wake up. It's the time. So this program, I love all of you. I'm glad that you're here. And I attempt to make it a little fun sometime, but this is a very serious situation that we're in. And we've got to get to the point where we elevate our lives. It's elevation time. So, go to elevation, what's our website? Elevation time. And, use that code. The code will be good until Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And, invest in yourself. Invest in love. And don't just, let your family just float. Now, some of your people in your family are going to be upset because you threw everything out in the refrigerator. They're going to be upset. They're going to go through, it takes like a couple weeks to get off heroin. You know what I'm saying? You've been on crack. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm going to eat. Oh, my God, I'm about to give them some more water. Put them in some Epsom salt baths. Oh. And they go through the heebie-jeebies, and all of a sudden the parasites start coming out of them, and they start dancing. They start talking again.
Man.
Folks, all of a sudden, you're sitting at the table. Nobody has a cell phone, right? You're loving, you're holding hands. You're walking with your bare feet on the ground again, grounding yourself, getting balance, grabbing trees. Now, your neighbors and friends are going to look at you like you're crazy because you don't want to eat at the chop shop no more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ain't going to go over to West End. We eating that sizzler. So I was on the stove. What was up in there that was good? Iceberg lettuce. It freezes your joints. You see, so there are very good foods, and the organic thing and the whole plant-based. Be careful with plant-based, because some of that stuff means plants. It was based.
Soylent Green is
based on an industrial plant. So be very careful. Read labels. I am doing a class which is online right now. If you go to elevationtime.com, it's a replay of the class we did Saturday. It's called "Got to Give It Up." Got to give it up. Take that class. Because I'm breaking it down. I'm showing it's a class where I'm showing you the products to stay away from and what to move towards and how to read again. You see, in fact, there's a series of classes we're doing Got to Give It Up. And if you join the website, if you join as a member, you get 10% off. Then if you use your coupon code, you get another 10% off. But what we're going to be sharing,
I think it's like $19 a month, $19.99 or something.
Something like
That's
that. But
really a good deal.
What we're sharing in there is a whole 4-part series on aliens. I did a whole expose on aliens. I didn't mention anything about a flying saucer landing at your house. I talked about the aliens in you and around you that you're following. You see, your
Yep.
own being alien to your own thoughts and feelings. They're alien to you. People
Mm-hmm.
smile. I smiled at a guy today in the store. I just smiled at him, right? And he
Mm-hmm.
looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, he's looking around, looked at his wife, and the guy smiled at me. We can't even smile at each other anymore because people are they're gone. Don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about them. This is
Mm-hmm.
zombie nation. Focus
Mm-hmm.
on you, your family, and those who will listen. Read. Get in, call the 800 number. Never mind what the FDA approved. When FDA approves something and then 5 months later it's a recall.
What is with that,
That's
right?
because they said they approved it. You see, they didn't say they checked it. They don't have no scientists down there with test tubes anymore. It costs money. Didn't Reagan do the trickle down thing? Got rid of most of
Oh
the government
yeah,
workers.
trickle down economics.
It
Yes,
was
he
trickle
did.
down. Let the poison trickle
Yep.
down onto your plate. So now you got a plate of trickle down poison with sugar all over it.
Mm,
So it's challenging to get off sugar. But
yeah.
when folks begin to do our program, it breaks the cravings
Yep.
because it's the parasites that crave the foods. Once you get rid of the asparagus, which is the parasite that craves sugar,
Mm-hmm.
you see, once you get rid of Campylobacter, once you start getting rid of parasites like, gynos, there's a whole bunch of them. I could go on and on. So let me not even get into that because it'll take so much time. There's 2,000 parasites that can live in your body. Most of them are zoonotic, which means they originated in animals and they ended up in people.
Mm.
But if you do like our ancestors did, eat within season and
Mm.
detoxify, not just from the ones in the colon, but systemic parasites. And
Yeah.
in order to do that, there's a special program. And when you begin to study systemic parasites, you realize that almost every illness there is basically based in nutrition and parasites. I don't care if they call it a germ, they call it a virus, a superbug. If it's trying to live in you, it's parasitic. But it's very simple. Your body is amazing. Your body is amazing. It can recover really quickly when you give it the tools. When you give it the tools, it will begin to ascend and wake up. When you begin to wake up, everything gets beautiful. All of a sudden, you understand the concept of making love all night long, all day long. Be a lover again. It's elevation time. Felicia, it's been wonderful. You're looking great. Congratulations. You are glowing. Keep doing this. I'll be back with you though, maybe like next month if you'd like me to come back. I know you better take a toll after today and last shows we've done. You might want to take a poll and see if you'd like me to come back. And if so, I'll be here for you. I'm with you. Much love. And
Well, I
if you
appreciate
can
you.
also call me, my
Okay.
number's on the website for
Okay.
people who have special conditions.
Mm-hmm.
We might need to put together a custom special program for them, and we do that
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah.
You see, I also
Okay.
formulate for some other companies. After being an herbalist for 30 years, I've learned, the shortcut to making very good product. We deal with high quality, organic or wildcrafted. We don't use anything cheap, no binders, no fillers. It's natural. Treat
Mm-hmm.
yourself lovely. Treat yourself good. That's natural. Thank you very much, Felicia.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you, all
I
of you
so appreciate you.
for putting up with my wildness. And I'm having fun. Have some fun. Learn to laugh. That's great medicine. You
Ah,
see,
so great
your
having you
mind
here.
is the first medicine. It's time
Wow.
to take that mind back.
Mhm. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Dr. B. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad that he was here. I have to just tell you that I am so happy for all of you guys who met the challenge that he gave out last time. That if you were to support, that they would give me a whole system, and I'm so glad they did, because I tell you one thing, I have not felt this good in a long time. And again, being that it's only just a 7-day mark, I can only imagine what things are going to look like really soon here. But I'm feeling better, eyes are clearer, and most of you all who followed me for a good while know that almost every other week there had been something going on. Couldn't put my finger on it either. Extra phlegm, or extra, just didn't feel good. Amy would call and check on me. Who? Rachel would check on me. She would just pick up and, are you okay? And I wouldn't tell anybody how bad I was. But I knew I was in trouble. And it was just by Yah's grace that he offered and said, hey, if you guys would, for those of you who get things, then we'll go ahead and bless her with a set. And I'm glad that you guys did, because I tell you, I knew I was in trouble. I knew it. It was without a doubt, I knew it. And prior to even starting it, I was really bad. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but I was bad. And I just thank you, hallelujah, that I have no words. I just have no words. So let's just see what happens. I only can think that I only know that it'll get better. And I just hope that each and every one of you guys take that time and invest in yourselves. For those of you who've given super chats today, thank you so much for blessing my household. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you who will take the challenge and get the set, I guarantee you when you start it, some things is going to change. That's all I can guarantee you. Some things is going to change. Okay. All right, you guys, listen, you know what we always say here on this channel, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves first, and then take care of everybody else, because if mama and daddy ain't together, then nobody else is going to be well. So take care of you, then take care of them. And until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed.
Black perspective.